Hi children, this is class 9, unit 4, environment. Now I'm going to deal with be reading poem The River by C.A.Bowles, session 5. Children, let's know about the poet C.A.Bowles. Caroline Ann Bowles was married to Robert Southey, who was the poet laureate of Britain. She wrote various other works, including Chapter on Churchyard and Tales of the Factories. The River is a poem which describes a river in all its vitality and splendor. Before going to poem, let's see glossary. First one, sparkle. Sparkle means reflect or shine. This picture shows sparkle. Next one, foliage. Foliage means leaves. There are many colors of leaves. Pebbles. A small stones made smooth and round by the action of water or sand. Children, where can you see these type of pebbles? Yes, near river. Glancing. Taking a brief look. Glancing means taking a brief look. Swelling. Increasing or expanding in size. Swelling means increasing or expanding in size. Brawling. Struggling. Brawling means struggling. Rose banks. River banks where roses appear along. Rose banks means river banks where roses or flowers appear along. Impetuous. Rash or acting quickly without thinking. Impetuous means rash or acting quickly without thinking. Brimming. Full or full of. Brimming means full or full of. Tending. Going in a particular way. Tending means going in a particular way. Mortal prime. The best part of one's life that cannot last forever. Mortal prime. The best part of one's life that cannot last forever. Headlong. With the head first and the rest of the body following. Headlong means with the head first and the rest of the body following. Next one, hath. Hath means has. Eternity. Life continuing without end after death. Children, eternity means life continuing without end after death. Children, let's recite poem The River. Here's stanza 1. River, river, little river, bright you sparkle on your way. O'er the yellow pebbles dancing through the flowers and foliage glancing, like a child at play. Here first stanza says that, "Oh, little river, you sparkle brightly on your way. You go dancing over the yellow pebbles. You glance through the flowers and leaves of trees, dancing all the while like a child at play." Like a child who plays hide and seek. River, river, swelling river, on you rush through rough and smooth, louder, faster, brawling, leaping, over rocks by rose banks, sweeping like impetuous youth. The second stanza says that, "Oh, you rising river, you rush through rough places and smooth places. You are brawling and leaping. You go by rocks and banks where roses grow. Now you are like a reckless youth." River, river, brimming river, broad and deep and still as time, seeming still yet still in motion, tending onward to the ocean just like mortal prime. This stanza says that, "O river, which is full, now you are broad and deep and motionless as time. Though you seem motionless, you are moving towards the ocean. Now you are like a man in his prime." Stanza 4. River, river, headlong river, down you dash into the sea. See that line hath never sounded, see that sail hath never rounded, like eternity. This stanza says that, "O river, you move quickly down into the sea. That sea's depth has never been measured by a weighted line. None has gone by ship completely round the sea which can be compared to eternity." Last stage of the poem, 4 stages of life are compared with the 4 stages in the course of the river. Children, let's discuss about poetic devices. This poem, The River, beautifully designed by Poetic Devices. Poems use imaginative language to express a person's feelings and ideas. There are many different devices and techniques of poetry that can be used. Children, do you know what are poetic devices? Yes. Simile, rhyme, metaphor, personification, and many more, isn't it? Children, now let's see what are the poetic devices used in the poem The River. A rhyme. A rhyme is a repetition of similar sounds in these final stressed syllables and any following syllables of 2 or more words. Most often, this kind of perfect rhyming is consciously used for effect in the final positions of lines of poems and songs. Example: dancing, glancing, leaping, sweeping, motion, ocean, surrounded, rounded. Next comes personification. Personification is when you give human qualities and human characteristics to an object, animal, or idea. From the poem Yellow Pebbles, Dancing. Dancing is the personification. Next comes simile. When two things are compared using like or as. Example, sweet as a honeybee, roar like a lion. From our poem, like a child at play. Here, like is a simile. Children, let's discuss about the summary in detail once again. Okay. In the poem, The River, author Caroline Ann Bowles uses the river to symbolize the different stages in a person's life. In the first stanza, the river sparkles brightly on its way. It overflows on the yellow pebbles and glances through the flowers and leaves of trees, dancing all the while like a child at play, just like a child who plays hide and seek. In the second stage, it overflows through rough and smooth places. It makes louder, faster, browsing, leaping over rocks by rose banks. It appears to be in its full youth, just like a man in youth, with recklessness. In third stage, the river seems to be broad and deep, though it seems motionless and peaceful. It flows towards the ocean. It seems to be experiencing an important part of its life journey like a grown-up man with a broad and wide thinking. In the last stage, it moves quickly down into the sea without any sounds and disappears slightly as an old man passes away. None has gone by ship completely around the sea, which can be compared to eternity. Children, now we will look into answer the following questions. First question, is the river like a child? Why? Answer, the river appears to be a child in its initial stage, as it shines and dances like a child in its journey. Our second question, why does the poet call it swelling river? Answer, the poet calls it swelling river as the river increases or expands in size. This is seen in second stage of journey of river. Third question, seeming still yet still in motion. What does the word still mean in either case? Answer, in the first stage, still means calm and quiet, and in the same time, it seems to be continuing its journey with the spirit of youth. Our fourth question, how does the sea remind you of eternity? Answer, sea reminds us of eternity as the river joins the sea. That is, river loses its life, but it continues to live in the form of sea after its death. Fifth question, what does the river and the sea remind the poet of? Answer: river and its journey reminds of the growth and achievements of a man. Sea reminds of the eternal life of man after his death. Children, read the poem once again and list the words in the poem which show the movement of the river at various stages. Okay, the following words in the poem show the movement of the river at various stages: dancing, swelling, rush, brawling, leaping, sweeping, motion, dash, sail. What are the images referred in the poem? How do they add to the beauty of the poem? Answer: the phrases are words that can describe and visualize the scene, and the thoughts are called word pictures. The following are the word pictures used in the poem. They make the readers understand the thoughts of the poet clearly. They add to the beauty of the poem by visualizing the thoughts into pictures. Here, list of images: little river, the flowers and foliage glancing, swelling river, impetuous youth, broad and deep, headlong river, the yellow pebbles dancing, child at play, rose banks, brimming river, seeming still, dash into the sea. So these are the list of images. Read the following comparisons. She skims like a bird. Her face shines as the moon in the sky. Pick out similar expressions from the poem, The River. Say why poet has made these comparisons. What would you compare them to? Children, think about it and write the answer. Okay. Children, here in the textbook they have given one table to complete it. Okay. Poet's idea, what is the river compared to, and similarities. In the first stanza, poet's idea is younger river and it is compared to a child. Similarities are both the river and the child dance and sparkle. In the second stanza, youthful river is the poet's idea and compared to a man in youth, and similarities are both the river and youthful man seems to be powerful, energetic and rough. Both grow well at this stage. In the third stage, poet's idea is grown-up river and it's compared to a grown-up man. Both the river and the grown-up man seems to be peaceful. And in the last stanza, aged river. It is compared to an old man to be in complete form. Similarities are both the river and the aged man are ready to disappear. Now read the last line of each stanza. What do these lines say about the river? The line of each stanza says about the nature and characteristic features of the river, isn't it? Next question. Does the river and its movement suggest something else to you? Yes. The river and its movement suggests that the journey of a river has similar characteristics of the life journey of a man. Children, this is the last question from the textbook and take it as a homework. Attempt an appreciation of the poem comparing and contrasting your experience of a river and that of the poet. Think and write your answer in your notes. Thank you, children. This is Lakshmi Bhavani, School Assistant English. Keep practicing until the next video.